Hunnigan, what happened? The transmission got cut off. Salazar, how'd you...
We've jacked the line. We didn't want you telling everyone any unnecessary information.
Where's Ashley?
Ah, so she fell into one of our wonderful traps. We'll make sure we find her. Don't you worry about her. Oh yes, I let our miserable insects out for some exercise down in the sewer.
Thanks. That should keep me company, 'cause boredom kills me.
I look forward to our next encounter. In another life.
Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here, and welcome back to my Resident Evil 4 Professional Difficulty No Damage walkthrough. We are moving on to Chapter 3-2, so we're going to start off in the same exact room where we ended Chapter 3-1. If you recall, at the end of that level, Ashley, once again, she got herself kidnapped, so on the downside, that means we have to rescue her. On the positive side, that means we don't have to worry about her for the time being. We don't have to worry about her taking damage or anything. Now, right here, I sped this footage up because all I'm doing here is I'm just kind of managing my inventory. So this is a very powerful feature of the game. You could see that what I just did is I bought the Broken Butterfly, which is a Magnum. But I didn't have room for it the way that my suitcase was currently set up, so I'm going to go ahead and do some reorganizing, and you can see that by doing that, I was able to fit everything in there. So very useful feature, being able to manipulate your inventory like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of my money to upgrade the Broken Butterfly. And like I said, this rifle here, this is a weapon I'm going to be using for the rest of the game. It's a very powerful weapon. It's actually my favorite weapon in the game, so I'm also going to take some time to upgrade that as well. And once you're ready to go, once you have your weapons of choice, we're going to make our way into the sewers here. And this is where we're going to be fighting... Again, forgive me, I always forget the names of different enemies, but I believe these guys are called the Novistadors, and shorthand I just call them the insect monsters. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn this corner and equip the rifle. And these enemies are originally invisible, but you can actually see drool, so you can see, it's something you should be able to see no problem on your own screen. You can see this, even though the enemies aren't visible, you can see their saliva drooling from their mouths onto the floor. And so if you just kind of trace that little, you know, piece of saliva up, you can figure out where their head is. And so you can actually get a headshot while they're still invisible before they actually start attacking you. So again, right here, you'll see I'm going to look down. You could see their spit, and so that's where I'm going to... That's how I'm going to be able to figure out where their heads are. You could see that it's just one simple headshot to put them down. And just like that, I took out 3 Novistadors with 3 shots, and not a single one attacked me. Because they won't attack you until you get within a certain distance. Now, this part right here is actually kind of challenging. What you're going to do is you're going to turn this corner, you're going to look up here on the ceiling, and you can actually see one of them, but you cannot get in a position to actually attack it. So I'm going to let him drop down, I'm going to take out the rifle, and I'm going to shoot him, but you can see that I actually missed the headshot, and so he was able to get back up, and thus it took 3 shots to put him down instead of 1. And now you can see that through all of that commotion, another one just entered the area by exiting that jail cell, and then you can see by killing him, I think 1 more is going to spawn. Now, I want to point out that technically it is possible to just run past all of these guys. But it is kind of hard to do. It's very inconsistent. Sometimes they'll just grab you for no reason. So for example, on my original practice playthrough, on my very first try, I ran through this room completely. I ran through the entire thing. I never once got hit. I didn't shoot a single bullet, and it was perfect. But then when I went to record it, like I said, it was just very inconsistent. I did the same exact thing I did during my practice playthrough, but I found myself getting hit every single time, and so that's when I kind of realized, okay, maybe I just got lucky on that initial attempt. And so now what I'm going to do here is I'm basically going to switch my approach. So this room is split into 2 parts. The first part here, you see that we just killed 3 Novistadors. And what we have to do is we have to go back through these tunnels, and we have to drain the water. And once we drain the water, more of them are going to spawn, and we're going to have to get out of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot my way through the first half, so that's what you just saw. I decided to shoot 3 of the Novistadors, but now we're to the room where we can drain the water, so what I'm going to do is drain that water, and then I'm actually just going to run through the rest of this area. So you see here I'm going to turn the wheel. I'm going to equip a grenade, because again, remember, that will allow Leon to run faster, which makes it easier to run past these Novistadors, because you're going to see there's actually quite a few of them that spawn. And again, this is kind of just, it comes down to your own choice, but you can see I'm just going to run. There's one that's going to spawn right there. I'm going to run past him. There are 2 right here when I turn the corner, so one comes out of the jail cell, another one drops down. Again, I'm just going to run, never look back, drop down, run through this door here, go up the stairs, and turn right. Now you can see to my left there are 2 barrels, and so, you know, some people, they might say, hey, why didn't you break those 2 barrels? Why didn't you go into the jail cells? I think there's a yellow herb in there. You know, you also get a piece of treasure every time you kill a Novistador. And by all means, if you want to, you can stand your ground and fight. It's just that it takes a lot of ammunition, and I don't think it's necessary. I think it's wiser to just run through the second half of that area. And now you see that I'm going to equip a frag grenade. And again, this is completely optional, but you're going to see that comes in handy right here. So you're going to come back into this room, and you can see that there are now a lot of cultists down below. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just look over the edge and chuck this frag grenade right in the middle of them. And it's actually going to kill almost all of them. I think one of them gets away, but that's okay. The main guy that we're trying to kill here is the guy in red, because he's kind of the leader. So I'm going to turn around. You can see the guy in red is on the floor. I'm going to take out the knife and just finish the job. Now he will try to run away, so make sure you stop him from doing so. And he also will spawn a parasite. So when that happens, just make sure you pull out either your shotgun or your rifle or whatever weapon you'd like to use. Again, it's only 1 parasite, so you probably don't want to waste a flashbang. In fact, I'll tell you right now, you do not want to waste a flashbang, because there is a part in the next level, I believe, where we take on another Garrador, and a flashbang is going to save your life during that section. So don't go wasting flashbangs on just 1 parasite. But you can see here, the reason I decided to use the frag grenade is because it killed all of those enemies, and they all drop the little spinals, which are those little gems that you can sell. And also by killing the guy in red, he drops the Illuminados pendant, which I think you can sell for 10,000. So again, the reason that part is completely optional is because those guys will usually just run away. As soon as you jump down, they'll run away. But you can see that by using a frag grenade, I got myself a lot of treasure. And in this case, I thought that was worth it, because remember, I said in the last video that the best part about the castle section in this game is that you get really rich in this section. There are so many treasures. There are so many items you can find and sell. And that really helps you later on down the line, because you can use that money to upgrade your weapons, to buy new weapons, to buy rocket launchers. So the castle section is a really good place to get rich. And for this room in particular, if it only costs me 1 frag grenade, then I am completely willing to make that sacrifice. But again, remember, if you don't have a frag grenade, it's okay. That part is just completely optional. Oh, and so it looks like you can sell the pendant for 12,000, which is even better. And then I'm going to go ahead and sell all of these treasures as well. And you can see that I'm making quite a bit of money. And that's given the fact that I just bought the Magnum earlier in this level. So you can see what I'm talking about with how rich you can get in the castle. Now, when you go through this door here, you're actually going to get a red herb. And I forgot about this, but I already had a yellow-green herb combination. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the red herb in there, and then I'm going to return to the merchant and sell it for 10,000. Now, I passed the merchant. I thought, wait a second, where is he? I could have swore he was right there, and I just somehow walked right past him. But yeah, guys, this is level 3-2, chapter 3-2, and just like the previous level, there is a lot to do here. There are a lot of fights that we have to get through, and if you remember, you know, throughout the first 2 chapters of the walkthrough, I was talking about how you really want to run through a lot of those initial fights so that you can save up ammunition, because that will make your life easier down the road. And as you'll see, that definitely is true for the castle, but even more so, it's true for the island. So there are a lot of fights in chapters 3 and 4 that you can just run through, and you can save ammunition, you can save resources, and that will really make your life easier come chapters 5 and 6, because those 2 chapters are the real kind of ammo drainers of the playthrough. But yeah, so in particular, you're going to see the fight at the end of this level. It's a really challenging fight, but you can actually run through the whole thing. Now, as soon as you kick open this door, equip the rifle, there's going to be 2 guys with crossbows, one on the left and one on the right. You can see that they tend to duck down, which is really annoying, so I had to wait for him to come back up to get a headshot. And now you'll see across the way there's 2 guys up there, and there's also an enemy in red, and typically, as you saw earlier, the enemies in red kind of signal the stronger enemies. And in particular, this room here, if you do this room correctly, it's very simple, but if you mess up, this becomes, in my opinion, a very difficult room, because you can see to my left right now in the center of this room, there's this kind of monument that's caged off, and what will happen is the enemy in red, he'll run away from you, and if you allow him to escape, he'll actually jump inside of that structure, and it turns into a giant turret, and that turret will just tear you to shreds. It's very hard to dodge, it's very hard to take down, but as it turns out, you can actually get through this room without ever having that enemy in red get to the turret, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Now granted, if he does end up getting to the turret, it's not the end of the world. You can still take him down. But in my opinion, if he does end up getting to the turret, I think it's better to just restart the checkpoint, because you'll see it just kind of makes your life a lot easier. But yeah, guys, like I was saying, there are a lot of fights in this level, in these next 2 chapters, that a lot of them, they seem like mandatory fights, like they seem like fights that you cannot skip, but as I'm going to show you, there are a number of them that you can in fact get through without firing a single shot, or at least very little shots. Now, I turned the corner there, picked up the rifle ammo, make sure you get that, and now you can see the only enemies remaining there are the 2 enemies with metal masks on, and then there's the enemy in red. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot that explosive barrel. It's really odd. Sometimes that barrel will kill those 2 enemies, sometimes it won't. So you can see that the 2 enemies ended up surviving, but they're very weak, and so you can see I actually killed that guy in 1 shot. His buddy, however, kind of disappeared, so I'm going to have to jump down and find him. But yeah, if the explosive barrel doesn't finish them off completely, it shouldn't be too hard. Just 1 or 2 pistol shots should do the trick. Now, right here, pay attention. This is very important. I'm going to take out the rifle, and I'm going to aim it at the enemy in red. But as soon as you aim it at him, he'll run away, and he'll run away very quickly. So what you're going to do is you're going to aim the rifle to his right. You're going to zoom in all the way, and you're just going to slowly pan over to him. And the second you make contact with him, you shoot. And you can see I was able to shoot him twice in the chest, 3 times. Here's a 4th time, and now he's going to run away. And so it's at this point where you might be thinking, crap, he got away, he's gonna jump into the seat of the turret, I'm screwed. But it turns out that is not the case. So typically what you would do here is you would chase him, and you would stay up here and you would chase him, and then he would get in the turret. But what you're gonna do instead is drop down, and then equip either your Magnum or your shotgun. Doesn't matter, but I prefer the shotgun in this case. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through this door that we went through earlier, and as soon as you go through it, he's going to be right here. Turn, chase him, and shoot him in the legs while he's running up the staircase. He's going to fall down, and now just use whatever weapons you can to make sure you kill him, because if he gets away from you now, he will jump into the seat of the turret, and like I said, it will make your life a lot harder. So he's just going to keep trying to run up these stairs. Every time he gets up, just shoot him in the legs to knock him down. And then while he's down, just unload into him with the shotgun or an incendiary grenade, or if you're really desperate, use the Magnum. But yeah, at all costs, just make sure you kill him before he leaves this room. He'll drop the key, And like I said, that completely eliminates the turret from this area. Now you can see at the top of these stairs there's a new enemy that's spawned and he has a shield. I ran past him because I figured he wouldn't be able to chase me, but it turns out he actually does chase you, which I thought was kind of interesting. So you will actually just want to kill him, but I didn't realize that until a couple seconds later. So you can see I ran into this room here, and in this room there's a puzzle that we have to solve. But I couldn't solve it because I heard him chasing me, but I really didn't think he would chase me all this way. I thought he would stop at a certain point, but yeah, he will follow you. So just go ahead and make sure you kill him before you start solving this puzzle. Otherwise he'll attack you while you're solving the puzzle. That will ruin your no damage playthrough, and you'll have to restart the checkpoint. Of course, most of you probably aren't actually doing a no damage playthrough. You're just playing on professional, in which case it's not the end of the world if you get hit. But in my case, that would have ruined my day. So anyway, here's the puzzle. It's very simple. You're going to do 1, 3, 4, 2. Again, if you want, wait, whoops, maybe I messed up the numbers there, but you can see what I did. And so now we're going to go through this door. That's going to trigger a cutscene, and then we are going to get ambushed.
What a pleasant surprise. But I'm afraid it's Ashley we need. Not you, Mr. Kennedy.
If you don't need me, then get off my back, old man.
Did you say old man, Mr. Kennedy? It might come as a surprise, but I'm only 20 years old.
So you're just like all the others? A puppet of the parasites?
Surely you don't think I'm the same as those diminutive ganados. The parasites, las plagas, are slaves to my will. I have absolute control.
Well, I really don't give a damn. Rain or shine, you're going down.
Get rid of our American friend.
Alright guys, so as soon as you gain control of Leon, turn to the right and go through this door, and this is a fight that is very tough, but we're going to run through the entire thing. And you're going to see that if you're quick enough, you can actually get through this entire room without ever having to worry about the crossbow enemies. So go ahead and run over to this location, press the button, and turn around. And again, you have to be quick here because there are 2 enemies that will appear from behind a picture frame right here with rocket launchers. So you want to make sure you're out of the area when they shoot those. But as soon as you press the red button, go ahead and run through this door here, break open this vase, and press this button. And now when you turn around, there are going to be a couple enemies that chase you into this room, but there's also going to be 2 enemies that spawn with rocket launchers. So watch what I do here. I'm going to approach this door, and you can see, or actually you couldn't see it, but those 2 enemies shot their rocket launchers at the door and actually killed most of their friends. So that's really nice. Now here come the 2 rocket launcher enemies once more. I'm going to run past them. Turn right here. Go ahead and just shoot these guys down. Just shoot their legs. Open this chest and grab the goat ornament. You'll see these doors now open. I'm going to drop down, climb up these stairs, and now go through the door that is now unlocked and dodge him. And now check this out. So I got through. I'm going to turn around, go back into the room, but first I'm going to save my game just to be safe. But yeah, once I turn around, it's kind of crazy because almost every other area in this game, when you do that, when you run through a fight and then when you return to that location, the enemies are still there, but for some reason with this particular fight, the enemies are all gone. They're just gone. I don't know where they went, but they disappeared. And so you could see that I got through that fight. I think I only shot like 4 or 5 rounds from my pistol. And it's all about speed there. Speed is a huge factor because if you run fast enough, if you get through that section fast enough, you can actually get through it without ever having to spawn the crossbow enemies. And those guys are always the biggest risk for taking damage. So that's a really useful thing to do. yeah, with that fight, I spent about half an hour on it trying to figure out the best way to do it. I just kept trying and trying to find the best strategy. And originally I tried to run through the room and I thought, oh no, there's no way. There's too much to do. But then after half an hour of making my way through the fights, I couldn't do it. Like, I could get through it, but I just couldn't find a very efficient strategy to do it. And I thought, you know what? There has to be a better way. And so that's when I kind of revisited the running approach. And sure enough, if you do it correctly, if you know exactly where to go, when to go there, you can get through that part very easily, all by just running through it. So definitely what I recommend doing. Now, there's a couple treasures in that fountain that you're going to want to make sure to pick up. And one thing I want to remark on before we get to the garden maze is, you know, I talked earlier about some of the lines in this game are just the corniest lines you'll ever hear. I don't know how they made it into the final game, but another perfect example was in that cutscene with Leon and Salazar, and Leon just says, "I really don't care. Rain or shine, you're going down." And that is not something that people say. That's just not a realistic line, and I think it's one of the stupidest lines in the game, but it definitely gives me a laugh. So at least there's that, and here yet again is another cutscene.
Mr. Kennedy, still alive, I see. So, do you like my garden?
I see you've managed to work in a little of your twisted taste here, too.
Sagacious as I am, even I get lost here sometimes. Even if it takes your whole life, you'll never get out. Do you know that no one dies without a cause? You will satisfy the stomachs of my cute pets. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to tie up a few loose ends, like chasing down a couple of rats.
2 rats? If one's Lewis, who's the other? Huh. They're an intruder besides me?
Alright, so Leon's just going to stand there and talk to himself for some reason, but we are going to get to work. So we are now at the garden maze. And as you can imagine, in this maze, as Salazar hinted at, there are going to be a couple of the dog enemies, the Cerebus. I think we're going to kill one. We're just going to kill the first one, and then, as you can imagine, we have 2 options. We can either stand our ground and kill every dog in this maze so that we have the time to pick up some treasures and yellow herbs and whatnot, or we can run through the entire section without having to fight anyone. And as you can tell from my walkthrough so far, I am going to be taking the latter approach. So go ahead, it's a lot easier to just follow what I do here. So just follow the exact path that I'm taking. We're gonna run up these stairs here and pick up the first half of the emblem. Now, once we have this half of the emblem, I'm gonna do something that's kind of optional, but I'm gonna run out of the maze, and I'm going to run back to where I originally started. And again, the reason I'm doing this is so that I can get a checkpoint, because now that I have picked up the first half of the emblem without any incidents, if I give myself a checkpoint, then that means I'll never have to do it again. So I'm going to run all the way back to this location, go through this door. Again, because the letters are green, that means I get an automatic checkpoint for going through that door. And now I'm going to go through the second half of the maze. And so yeah, that's just purely for convenience. The main reason I do that is so that if I make a mistake and if I die, I don't have to redo the whole maze, I only have to redo the second half. So completely optional, but like I said, it does make your life easier. And so now we're going to have to go through the second half of this maze. So once again, it's a lot easier just to follow where I'm going. Before you open this gate, or sorry, never mind, just run through the gate, take a left, and just run. Just run. That's all you want to do here is run, run, run. You can see there are dogs chasing me. That's okay. I don't care. I'm not going to waste ammunition. In fact, I probably shouldn't even have the shotgun equipped. I should have equipped a grenade so I could run faster. But there we go. 2 more dogs jump out. Again, I'm just going to run past them. Just run, run, run. Never look back. And now that we have both pieces of the emblem, we're going to go through the door. Now, of course, like always, by running through that section, we are missing some treasures and some yellow herbs. But in this case, again, I think saving the ammunition outweighs the items that we miss by killing all of those dogs. So now just go through this door and enjoy the ending cutscene.
Put your hands where I can see them.
Sorry, but following a lady's lead just isn't my style.
Put them up now.
Bit of advice, try using knives next time. Works better for close encounters.
Leon. Long time no see.
Ada. So it is true.
True? About what?
You, working with Wesker.
I see you've been doing your homework.
Why, Ada?
What's it to you?
Why are you here? Why'd you show up like this?
See you around.
Ada!
Alright guys, there you have it. That is the end of Chapter 3-2. Once again, I hope you enjoyed. As always, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Hopefully you are still enjoying the walkthrough, as I am. But yeah, you know, like always, I like to hear what you guys think in the comments down below of the game, of my strategies, anything like that. But either way, once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in Chapter 3-3.